What's up everyone, my name is Jasper and in today's video I wanted to give you guys an update on the case study website. It's been about 3.5 months since the last update, so it's really time to let you guys know where the site is at and what the future plans are. So it has been about 3.5 months in my last update, but I actually started this website halfway through November of 2021. So that's about 5 months ago, and back then I wanted to start this website with the idea of bulk publishing. So bulk publishing was supposed to get you out of the sandbox much faster. At least many people reported that publishing a bunch of articles all at once would get them out of the sandbox much faster. So of course I wanted to see if that worked for me. So I set out to write as many articles as I could and then just publish them all in 1 or 2 days. So I did that. Things did go a little slower than I would have liked, but eventually I published 65 articles in the first 2 days. And after that I just kept updating the website with new articles, so currently we're sitting just under 100 articles. But as I said, the whole idea behind this was to see if bulk publishing a lot of articles all at once on the website would get me out of the sandbox much faster. But this whole test and idea could be thrown right out of the window because, well, this website got hit by the indexing issues. The indexing issues is something that a lot of people have run into last year and are still running into. And it basically means that your articles are just not getting indexed. And when they're not getting indexed, they are not on Google, so you will not get traffic. So when your articles are not getting indexed, it really feels like you're just at a standstill and there really isn't much you can do about it. At least you could of course do something about it, and at the time that I had these issues, the most important options were the RankMath API plugin or something called indexmenow.com. Now I was really tempted to try these things, however, many people that were making videos about it, they were giving warnings that these tools are not made for normal blog posts. These tools are made for news articles so that they can be indexed instant, because news is something that needs to be indexed instant. It really doesn't make sense for a news article to be published and then only rank about 8 months later. The news would no longer be relevant. So what I did is, instead of going the route of either of these two tools, I tried something different, and this is something that worked wonders for me as well as for some other people that I know, and it is something I never heard anyone talk about. So what I did is I just changed my name servers to Ezoic. Ezoic is one of my favorite ad networks for smaller sites, or in my case also for my Dutch sites. And the way they work, the way you need to integrate your site is by changing your name servers to them. So instead of pointing to your host, you will now be pointing to Ezoic. And for whatever reason, I'm honestly not sure what causes this, but whenever I did that, all of my articles started to get indexed. Before I changed the name servers, all of the articles were not even found at all. They weren't even in the discovered not indexed section, which all the articles would usually sit. They were just nowhere at all. But after I changed my name servers, about a week later, all of my articles were now getting indexed. And I got this tip from someone who had the same happen, and after I did it, I recommended it to 2 other people, and they saw the same effect as well. So unless there's some huge coincidence where all of us had the same issue and it all got fixed at the same time, coincidentally, I think that this is just a really nice solution where you don't have to go the route of using tools that may backfire on you later down the road. But as I said, the site is currently sitting at about 100 articles, and that is a little less than I would have liked to see. But I really just stopped working on the site because the articles were not getting indexed. It only happened to get indexed about 2.5 months ago, and when that happened, my accessory site was also in a huge uptick in traffic. So instead of working on the case study site, I really just found the motivation to work even harder on the accessory site, and that is really paying off right now. But now that the articles are getting indexed and they've been on Google for about 2 to maybe 3 months, things are starting to look up. Because finally, just finally, things are going in the right direction. This website, although it is pulling in really small numbers, it is finally trending upwards. So if you just look at the Google Search Console graph right here, you can see that the impressions are going up, the clicks are going up. The average position is still hovering around 20, which is something that I'm fine with. I'm pretty sure that most articles are just somewhere on page 2, 3, maybe 4. Because usually when I publish an article, I don't expect to see any results for the first 6 to 8 months. After that, I do expect page views to actually come in. I usually shoot for about 350 to 500 page views per article. That is on the higher side, but I have seen myself do it many times before. So that is what I shoot for. But I only really want to see that after about 8 to 12 months. We're currently only on month 2 or 3 for most articles. So just seeing that things are going in the right direction is one of the only really reassuring things that you can see at this point. We can also look at the Google Analytics graph. So let's just look at the months of this year. So in January, this site had 430 sessions. In February, that jumped up to 480 sessions. Then in March, that dropped back to 420 sessions. Then in April, we nearly doubled to 720 sessions. And now that we're in May, we're only halfway through May. So let's just take the last 30 days, which is at 1,000 sessions. So you can really see that all the numbers are moving up. The first few months, they are always fluctuate around the same number in my experience. So we got to 430 to 480 to 420. That is normal in my experience. That's just also me going to the site. That's people that my riders are going to the site. So I usually just see the same sort of number hovering around the same number for the first few months. But now we actually see the numbers double, and that is just a really reassuring sight. So in the future, I really do expect to see this growth continue. As I mentioned, most articles are about 3 months old, so they're only halfway there to their fullest potential. And that is if they reach that at 6 months. And I usually count on them reaching their full potential at the 8 to 12 month mark. So there's still a lot of time for all of these articles to perform even better. And I really do expect them to perform even better. Honestly, I cannot wait to see where the site will be in maybe 6 to 12 months, because I have pretty high hopes for this website. So honestly, the only thing that's left for me to do for this site is just to wait it out and see what these articles are going to do in the future. In the meantime, of course, I will be publishing a lot of new content. I've been working on a new silo or cluster or whatever you want to call it. And in that silo, I found very little competition, and I suspect the search volume to be relatively high. Luckily, I just placed an order with Rewrite Blog Post for $3,500. So a lot of the ordered articles will be going to the case study website. Now lastly, I do want to go over the future plans for this website, because that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So initially, I kind of wrote this website off as a failure because the articles were just not getting indexed. Now I see that the articles are getting indexed and things are moving in the right direction. So it's time to see where this site will fit into my portfolio. So as for future plans, I mean, this site is one of the 2 sites that I'm mainly focusing on myself. So this case study website and the accessory website are the 2 sites that I'm putting most of my effort into. These are the 2 sites I think have the most potential, and in the case of the accessory website, it is already showing that potential. And I think that this case study site is also one that could be fairly large in the future. So the way to get there, of course, as I mentioned, is just by publishing new content. I'm going to be allocating many of the articles that I ordered from Rewrite Blog Post to this website. And additionally, I will also be looking for new writers. I'm hoping to onboard 1 or maybe 2 full-time writers for this website alone. So hopefully that will make sure that the website will always be updated at least somewhat regularly. From there, I would like to see this website at $1,000 a month in the next 12 to 15 months. I'm taking a pretty large estimate because normally people would like to see the results much earlier. But in my case, I've been seeing this with the accessory site where it got delayed results. I'm just giving this a delayed goal. I'm just making this as a little more of a reasonable goal. I think in the next 12 to 15 months, hopefully we can get the site to $1,000 a month. From there, I am really just going to judge the growth of this site. And I'm just gonna need to look at all of the factors. Because this niche is very large, but it isn't a 1,000 article worthy niche. So I gotta look at where I'm at with the site. Am I really just starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel right now, or what is going on? Because to be fair, this website is one that I think has a lot of potential, but it is not one that I am personally really passionate about. I like the niche, I think it's a really good niche, it's a really nice niche, but to be fair, it's not one of my personal hobbies. I would much rather outsource the writing than write myself for this site. So with that in mind, and combining with the fact that maybe I am starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel with articles, or maybe I'm just done with the site, it might make sense to just sell this website and lock in that profit. So at $1,000 a month, the value of a website with a 40x multiple would be about $40,000. And if I learned one thing from the core update in December of 2020, sometimes it is really nice to just lock in that huge chunk of profit and not risk an update screwing you over. Now $40,000 is an amazing number to just get paid out. Hopefully, if I'm ever going to sell this, I would do it in January, because that means that I got an entire year to spend that $40,000 and not pay a single dollar in taxes on it. But honestly, that is something that I really need to judge for myself. And as I mentioned, that is going to be something I need to look at in the future. For For now, the goal is to hopefully get this site to 200 or maybe 250 articles in the relatively near future and get this site to $1,000 a month as soon as possible. And from there, it is time to see what I'm going to do with it. Another alternative that I just now thought of is I have been looking at H domains, and I know I don't want to start a new website, but one thing that I can do is I can buy an H domain on the broader topic that this niche falls under and then just redirect. So basically incorporate this entire website into a much larger website that could house tens of thousands of articles. That is something I will also have to look at, but that is something that is going to be a little further away. Honestly, that does sound like an amazing plan, but I will have to do the research and the keyword research and looking at the competitors in order to see if it's actually a viable idea. Now lastly, before I end off the video, I do want to mention that when you see this video, or at least the time that I upload this video, it's only a couple of days before I will be attending the affiliate gathering in York. So this is an event that is hosted by Carl Broadbent and I cannot wait to attend it. There will be many amazing people to meet there. People like Morten Storgaard from Passive Income Geek. You got the people from Niche Website Builders. You got the people from Mediavine and Zoic. You got Ricky from Income School. Carl Broadbent himself, of course. You got Sean Mars. Basically anyone that is doing anything similar to my style of videos where we're just talking about blogging, most of them will be there, and it's just an amazing place to kind of meet up with people. Because if there's one thing in this business that I dislike, it's how you don't get to meet that many people. Most of the things you'll be doing on your own. So I just cannot wait to meet a lot of like-minded people. So if you're still seeing this video and you're still on the fence about it, you could still purchase your tickets. I hope there's still some in-person tickets available. Otherwise, you could also get your digital tickets, which means that you will be looking at a live stream. All of that will be recorded, of course. So honestly, I really think it's worth it. If you are going, let me know in the comments. Maybe we can meet up. That would be amazing, of course. Other than that, that really is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.